The salt marshes on the eastern shore of Maryland are an angler's paradise full of opportunities. Although they are less than 100 miles from our nation's capital, they allow you to get into extremely remote areas that are far removed from the DMV's urban hubs. The salt grasses that cover the marshes clash with the tidal creeks and rivers in a constant ebb and flow. Eroding shorelines are continuously being shifted by waves and storms, but these shorelines offer perfect habitat for fish like the striped bass. Join me as I take my kayak to explore the brackish salt marshes on Maryland's eastern shore. Good morning and welcome back to the water's edge. Taking the kayak out, I am on Maryland's eastern shore and we're going to be going out and fishing some grass flats for hopefully some speckled trout. I definitely have a chance at rockfish and red drum as well, but the main target of today is speckled trout. I really want to try and catch some trout. I have caught a couple this year, but the fish kill over the winter, just because of how harsh our winter was here in Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina, did kill a lot of trout, so I definitely think that is affecting the numbers of fish we are seeing this year. But I'm going to go out and be fishing a beautiful grass flat. Hopefully the water clarity is clean. We have had light winds the past 2 days and it's very calm right now, so the water shouldn't be too stirred up. I had to pedal out a couple miles today, but we are on the way out and hopefully we'll be catching some fish shortly. So I will see you guys once we get out on the grass flat. So we are just getting out to the grass flat now, getting out to the opening of this creek that I came out of this morning. The sun is starting to get up a little bit. It's about 6:30 right now, but I have tied on a custom topwater lure sent to me by Maloka Baits, and this is a beautiful looking topwater. I think a trout or a striper will hit this, but it's supposed to get hot today, up to near 90 degrees. So I want to take this first hour and a half to throw around some topwater. I've got a little 3-inch paddle tail rigged up and also a 5-inch paddle tail rigged up. I'm gonna go up here and fish these marshy island chunks first because they look like it's a good point with maybe a little bit of current coming off of it. We're at about dead low tide right now, so we should be fishing the incoming tide all morning. We've got a slight breeze coming out of the west. It's not supposed to kick up any more than this. It's actually supposed to die down a little bit. We're in about 4 foot of water, 3.5 to 4 foot of water right now. Let's see if we can find ourselves some fish today. I did bring a cooler with me because I do want to keep some, definitely keep a slot rockfish if I catch one, and then if I get some speckled trout, as long as they're not big and full of eggs, I would like to keep some as well. So let's see if we can get some fish. And I'm just walking the dog with this. This is a pencil style popper. Works really good back and forth, and I can work this real slow. Should get bit if there's a fish around. Those trout do like their top waters. I feel like if there was a fish here, I would have gotten hit right there. I'm just gonna slide up and fish this marsh bank right here up to this point. I can see a nice little current rip coming off of it. The only thing is the tide is very low, so these fish might be kind of slid off in slightly deeper water. Water temps are pretty warm, right at about 80 degrees. I don't know how shallow they're gonna be with water temps like that. A lot of times when we get into the 80s, those fish kind of slide off into a little bit deeper water, a little bit cooler water. Yeah, a little school of something just swam by me. Yeah, I'm marking a little something. Maybe they don't want the top water. Let's cast our jig in there. We're gonna throw the 5-inch up here, just a little bit more casting distance, a little bit bigger profile. Yeah, fish just broke right on that point. Water clarity is not great in here, but I think it's because the wind is pushing the dirty water up along this shoreline. What I need to do is get my net out, because I always forget to get my net out and then I hook a fish and I'm scrambling. Yep, there we go. Right where I saw him hit. I think this is a rockfish. It's acting like a rockfish. Yep, little striper. I don't think he's gonna keep. But we got the skunk off. There we go. Okay, he's freaking out. He's freaking out. He hit the 5-inch invincible seam swimmer right there. There we go. Just a little guy. Not bad, probably about a 17 to start the morning. Let's see if we can pull a keeper off at that point. There's probably more in there. I'm gonna go ahead and let him go. Cool. All right, skunk is off the board. All right, let's see if there's another one sitting on that point. Yep, that feels like, is he running at me? It doesn't feel too big, but another one. Yep, there we go. Another little schooly striper. There we go. Cool. About the same size as the one before him. Go ahead and pull this guy out. I don't think he's a slot either, but another schoolie on the 5-inch seam swimmer. 5-inch is just a good profile to throw when you've got all types of different fish around. Right there, that's what he hit. And there's our little rockfish. Another about 16, 17 incher. We're gonna find a slot fish today. I know we are. We'll go take a couple more casts here, and then just because we're catching a few fish on this point, I will go fish the next one, but I really need to get over to that grass before the sun gets too high. You know the old saying, don't leave fish to find fish. If you have fish, stay on them, so I might as well keep doing that while I can. And when I'm fishing these marsh shorelines, I'm fishing points that stick out farther than the rest. Like this one, you can see the two behind me. That's good points for fish to ambush bait, and there's usually some current rips there that they'll sit in. Definitely what you want to be looking for. And the fish aren't always right on the point like they are right now. Sometimes they're sitting much farther off. So don't be afraid to fish, 100 yards off the point and then work your way in. Sometimes they'll be real close, sometimes they'll be farther off. Just kind of gotta fish around it and find out. I think I got tapped right there again. Let's downsize to my smaller paddle tail and throw that in there. Because that's twice that I've been hit on my big paddle tail. Now I've caught 2 fish on it too, but whatever's hitting me is kind of just tapping me. Okay, yep, there it is. There he is. This might be a little bit better fish. Is this my slot? No, another schoolie. Another little schoolie. A little bit bigger. We'll measure him just for the heck of it. Because I haven't measured any of these fish today. He is right at 18. So there we go. Another little 18 incher. There's a school of them sitting right on that point. Wish there was a speckled trout with them. Let's see, we pulled 3. Let's see if there's any others sitting here. That one was sitting right on this point. I think I got a little grass. Oh, nope, they pulled me down. They are good at doing that. Always try and keep super glue handy with me when they're pulling my soft plastics down. Just put a little bit right around the jig head. Let it sit for, I don't know, 30 seconds, and then should be good to go. All right, that glue has dried. Let's see if we can get a slot fish out of here. Yep, right there, little guy. Oh, and he's off. But hey, that paddle tail stayed on thanks to that super glue. I'm gonna push up to this next point, and while we're doing that, I will troll a bait out to the side. Keep an eye on my side scan, look for any signs of life up against the shoreline. All right, we're coming up to another really good looking point. Water is a little dirtier in here than I wanted it to, but again, I think it's just from this wind rolling the waves up against this shoreline and kind of pushing the current along it. I think once I get out over the grass, I'll have a little bit better water clarity. At least I hope so. I'll throw my bigger paddle tail just because I can cast it into the wind a little bit better. Yep, there we go. He was sitting right up on that point. I think this might be a slot fish. Maybe. He's gonna be close. Ooh, definitely the biggest one of the day though. And there's some more fish that just went by me right there. Just went by me. I think he's gonna be a little short of that 19-inch mark, but we can measure him. He is 19 on the dot. I do want to keep a little bit bigger fish though, but first slot fish of the day. Beautiful striper. Let's see if we can get a bigger one out of there. Well, that is our 4th striper of the morning. We're off to a pretty good start. Let's see if we can get a keeper out of here, and then as soon as I get my keeper, or if I just kind of fish to this point and don't get one, We're gonna go hit the grass. That is the main goal of today, but again, I found some fish, and how can I leave them when I'm catching them? Especially when the bite close to home has been so bad. Like I said, I'm over on Maryland's eastern shore, fishing the salt marshes. Another one sitting right on that shoreline. Feels about the same size. Man, there's gotta be a bigger fish around here. Yeah, it's a little dinker. Little dinky guy. We'll go ahead and just release him boat side. All right, well, they are hitting the paddle tails very good this morning. Let's see, I want to get one on my lighter setup just because they're more fun to catch on that. Throw the 3.5 inch Invincible Jigs paddle tail in there. Again, Invincible Jigs is a local guy. Keith makes them. He makes jig heads and paddle tails. These are the seam swimmers. He's got them in 3.5, 5, and 7 inch, and then makes jig heads from a quarter ounce all the way up to I think 2.5. So definitely recommend checking him out. I love his gear. There's definitely fish sitting up against this bank right here. Right there, right there. There he is. And he's going back and forth. Back and forth. Oof. That's a little bit better one. A little bit better. Ooh. He's right at that. Come on, net. I need to get a better net. This net sucks. Oh, right at that 18 to 19 inch mark. Another slot fish this morning. Close to it. Probably right at 19. Go ahead and get him back. Man, we gotta find a bigger one. I want to find like a 24 or 25. Shoot, even an over slot would be nice. All right, let's go find a speck. All right, so I'm on my way over to the first grass bed that I want to check out, and unfortunately the water clarity is not getting better as I'm getting closer, so I'm a little worried the water is going to be stirred up over here. If it is, I'll still probably fish it for 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes and see if we get a bite, but if I don't, I'm definitely going to be going and searching out some cleaner water and might have to just fish some shoreline points because had success with that early on, but man, I was hoping to find clean water today and it's just not looking too good right now. With the lighter winds, hopefully it'll settle out, but I'm almost to where I want to start fishing now, so we'll get over there and hopefully find some good looking water. Well, the water is pretty dirty in here, but we'll take a few casts up to this duck blind and this dock. We're in about 2.5 feet of water. Like I said, the tide is very low, but we'll just kind of fish this, maybe fish down this shoreline and get around that point down there, maybe see if we can find some clean water, but if not, we'll just have to go start exploring. Definitely going to be putting in quite a few miles on the kayak today. Water visibility is about, I don't know, 10 inches. Not great. All right, we're coming up to a pretty good looking shoreline point here, so I'm gonna slow down and we'll take some casts. Still have not found the clean water that I've been after, but hopefully that'll change. Yeah, this water's just dirty. Not much I can do about it on a kayak. Just gonna have to cover as much ground as I can and hopefully find some clean water. I think we'll still be able to catch some rockfish, but specks are going to be hard to find, and if there's any reds around, the specks and reds are going to be tough with dirty water. We need that tide to come up some too, because it's definitely low right now. Well, it is definitely a little windier than they were calling for, and the water clarity is not what I want it to be, but we have caught a few fish and we're just going to keep fishing shoreline points until we find clean water, and if we don't find clean water, then it is what it is. But hopefully we can at least find some more rockfish throughout the day. There we go. Finally. Been fishing for a while. Again, just up against a marsh shoreline. Feels like a striper. Maybe it's our slot fish. Yeah, I think that might be our slot fish. Yeah, it's a better one. I think it's the best one of the day. Oh yeah. Yep, that's a good fish.
He's running. That's a good one. All right, see if we can land him. Get in the net. Get in the net. Yes, that is a good fish. Maybe even an overslot. All right, well, we've got a good looking rockfish right here. They're up on these marsh shorelines. Yep. Check that out. 5-inch seam swimmer. It's a good fish. We'll measure him. He's definitely slot. Question is he that 24 and a quarter? I'll measure him right here. 23. That is our slot fish. Sweet. Well, there we go, guys. First real slot of the day. We did have a few 19s, but this is a 23. This is going to be our keeper. It took me a while to find him, but just fishing these marshy shorelines, and I'll show you guys, there's some good grass up against here, and I think that's why this fish was sitting up here waiting to ambush some bait. Crushed the 5-inch seam swimmer, so I'm going to go ahead and brain spike him, bleed him, and get him on ice. But that is our keeper rockfish. I hope we can find a speck or a red today, but the striper should keep us busy. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this guy, and we'll get back on the water and keep fishing. Look at all that grass. See, that's what the specks and rockfish are going to be sitting in, but unfortunately the water's a little dirty, so they're probably not going to be sitting in the dirty water. The rest of our rockfish will be catch and release. That was a good slot fish. Fish was sitting right along this shoreline. Keep sliding up to this point. I guess it'll be there's some fish sitting on it, but we'll see. Grass, a lot of floating grass. That is annoying. Well, we are making our way back up to the stretch of shoreline that I started my day at, just because that's where I caught the bulk of my fish, and I figured might as well come back here and fish this shoreline because I have not found clean water out on the grass flats. So might as well fish some shoreline structure and see if we can get some fish that way. The wind is dying out, so maybe we'll get some cleaner water. There we go. Sitting right on that point, right where you're supposed to be. Feels like a rockfish. Yep, little striper. Man, these guys are saving my day. I don't know what I would do if I came out here and had muddy water and they weren't up on the shorelines, but they're making for some fun fishing. Ooh. Yeah, these little ones are the ones that'll splash you. And he's hooked in the gill a little bit. Sorry, buddy. Try and get you back. Oh, that's the unfortunate thing. It's hooking him in the gill. Not much you can do other than get it out quick, try and not rip it out, and just get him back in the water. But he was sitting right there. Sun's getting up. I'm going to take this opportunity to put on a little sunscreen because I can feel myself getting burnt already. All right, I got my sunscreen on. Let's hit this marsh bank. Incoming tide is really pumping along it. So these fish are just sitting waiting to ambush bait. Can't tell if there's dirty water coming out or if that's a sandbar coming out, but definitely a color change right there. Good spot for fish to be sitting and waiting to ambush. I'm gonna let you guys in on a great little snack. The big sunflower seed, Old Bay seasoned. These things are awesome. I just tried these for the first time the other day and they are great. Definitely recommend trying them out. Well, it is almost 10 o'clock and I'm getting ready to start making my way back to the ramp because it's getting really hot out. Working these shorelines again, and we got ourselves another nice rockfish. This time he hit the 3.5-inch Invincible Seam Swimmer on the 1/4 ounce jig head. My guess is that this is probably a 21-inch fish, but good one nonetheless. Right there, beautiful striper. Like I said, water temps are hot, so we're gonna get this guy back in the water, let him revive. Make sure he swims off strong. There he goes. Whew, yeah, it is getting hot out here, guys. So I'm gonna start making my way back to the ramp. I think I'm just gonna work the marsh shorelines that I've had success on today
and hopefully pluck a few more fish. I was really hoping for some specks today. Unfortunately, given the water clarity, that's not really gonna happen, I don't think. You really need clean water for those speckled trout, and I'm just limited to the areas that I can fish on my kayak. So we'll make our way back, hopefully catch a few more fish, but it has been a fun trip nonetheless. Definitely enjoyed catching these stripers and exploring some new waters. I've never fished over here before, so it's really good to get over here, catch some fish, kind of learn the area, and I definitely want to come back when I've got cleaner water, because I know I've got a good chance of some specks over here and the possibility of some redfish. So we're gonna keep on fishing. Let's get our baits back in the water. Like I said, that fish hit the little 3.5-inch seam swimmer. This is a perfect little imitation bait for little menhaden or just really any type of small profile bait fish in the bay. And I like throwing white. White is a go-to color no matter where you're fishing in the bay. High visibility color. Let's see if there's another fish sitting along this marsh edge. That's where that fish came from, right along this. Oh, just got hit. Just got hit. These slot stripers are fun on light tackle. This is a 2500. This is the Okuma DTR Custom paired with the ITX CB 2500. This is a medium fast action rod. Perfect rod for light tackle fishing, catching these stripers. Another one sitting right up on that bank, man. They are tight to it today. They are tight to it. It's fun though. This one's not as big. He's just a little guy. There we go. He's not quite a slot, but a little schooly guy. Get him back. Let's see if we can get another one in there. Man, they're like right up against that marsh edge, like as close as you can get your jig. Some days they're sitting off of these points, and some days they're, man, just about as tight as you can get your jig without getting snagged. And we do have a higher tide right now. It's been coming in all morning, so as the water rises, those fish will push up to those undercut banks and sit along them as well. Another one, another one. He's not that big, but they're fun. Must be a little school of them in there. Yeah, just a little schooly guy. Ooh, these ones love to splash you. Love to splash you. Man, they love this little seam swimmer. Come on, buddy. Ow. Come on, buddy, I'm gonna let you go. Well, I'm back where I took my first cast of the day, right around these little island clumps, and I'm gonna take a few more casts here and then probably call it. It is getting really hot. I mean, it's gotta be close to 90 right now. So we'll take a few casts around this now that the water is up, and then probably head on back in. Well, it is getting hot, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. But we did have a pretty good trip out on the water. I really wanted to find some specks today, but the water conditions just didn't really make that a possibility. I did find some good grass beds, but the clarity just wasn't there, and you really need good water for specks. The rockfish showed out today and offered me up some good angling opportunities. So they were fun to catch on light tackle, and I got a nice keeper that I'm bringing home. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you're enjoying the content. I've been trying to get out and explore more areas on my kayak, really take advantage of the Hobie compass I picked up in February. I fished hard on it, and I've caught a lot of fish on it too. So this is a great kayak. It's very lightweight, good and portable. I throw it in the bed of my truck and just drive to wherever I want to fish. So thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Water's Edge. If you did, make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you guys have been finding the speckled trout when you've been out fishing this year. I found a couple, but it really hasn't been like it normally is. I think that fish kill over the winter definitely had something to do with it. But thanks again for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Water's Edge. You guys have a great day.